Hello.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm doing good. Does it sound echoey on your end?
No,
No?
no,
That's good.
doesn't sound
You did
echoey
you
on
put your
me.
name as Mad Liz?
Yeah,
That's cool. How did it look when you logged in?
it said, what's your name and then email,
Wow, I
but
can add more friends. This is cool.
the email was optional,
Oh, okay.
and I had to allow a microphone on Google Chrome.
Cool.
Hmm.
All right. Well, welcome to the Who and What Movie podcast.
Hmm.
I'm your host, Mark Denny, and I'm in love with you.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Wow.
And I'm Liz, and I'm also in love with you.
Oh my gosh. I didn't predict that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about having you on as a guest, and honestly, I can't hold it in, baby. I'm gonna say I love you on the show.
Okay. So what are we gonna talk about today?
Let's go ahead and talk about that crap fest movie called Awake.
Okay. All right. I can do that. So back when I started watching the trailer, I thought this movie was going to be amazing. Maybe
It,
not amazing, but it was going to be a movie that was worth watching. Um, but
I
after
disagree.
watching the movie, the trailer really gave it another perspective.
Probably deception.
Yes, that word.
Yeah.
Um, because the trailer, it made it seem like they didn't know why they weren't sleeping and they didn't know who wasn't no, yeah, they didn't know who was sleeping, and it made it seem like at the end like the girls finally like I can sleep, and then I thought they were gonna go from there and
Oh
figure
well.
it out, but the movie was not that way.
No, I knew from the trailer that the movie was gonna be garbage. No disrespect to the cast and crew and all that, but
Yeah, poor Gina Rodriguez, like she's amazing, but I feel like her acting wasn't the greatest in this movie either, though. I loved her in Jane the Virgin,
yeah, I
but
yeah, I there was something off. I feel like she keeps getting tasked with these kind of tough girl roles,
hmm
and she fits them a little bit. But I see her in more of a vein of like the movie Enough. She's got a build to it, like J Lo does
hmm
in that movie. She
yeah,
builds to be a tough person. In the
hmm
beginning, she's scared and gets harmed, of course, and it's terrible. But by the end, she's this tough person. I think with Gina, they keep casting her in these roles where she's already a tough person, and it's just like it doesn't work for her, like right off the bat. I don't know, and maybe because I'm used to her as Jane the Virgin, maybe, and I don't want to like typecast her because of course she's an actress and she can probably do a whole
hmm
lot. Um, but I don't know. At first, I was like, "Is she a drug addict in this movie?" And then I was like, "Well," and then I had to look up some information about the movie, and I found out that she was an ex-military person, I guess.
And see, they don't
Um,
really say that in the movie either.
Yeah, I think they hint a little bit at one point, but I don't know. A lot of the movie was kind of up in the air,
Hmm.
and it caused us to like question the entirety of the film, and we ended up laughing a lot of this movie.
Yes, and then also going back to Gina, I feel like the writing or the way they wrote the movie really wasn't in her favor either because they wrote like I saw her, she was tough, but then they like switched her over to this real emotional, like, oh, my daughter type thing. So I think that didn't help either. Like they weren't sure which way to go, whether to make her completely tough or loving. And I felt like that really didn't help out her acting skills either.
Yeah, and then we had that weird comedic moment where the door happened to be unlocked, and she like it almost felt like she broke the fourth wall because she like rolled her eyes. And it was like, what? What is this
Mhm.
movie trying to do? And then
Yep.
not to mention the whole plot. It's a cool concept, But
Yeah.
they didn't utilize the plot very well. I mean, 2 minutes passed in the movie, and it had been 24 hours.
Yeah, the timing was way off. It made no sense at all. And then it just rushed. It
They,
moved super, super quick.
you think they would use transitions like maybe fade to black and then say 24 hours had passed, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe have like news coverage
Mm-hmm.
telling the audience, okay, people haven't been able to sleep for the last 24 hours. Um, this is maybe they have a scientist on there. This is what could happen, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe slowly start showing some of those effects. They just kind of went 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, they got rid of all that filler stuff. They just went straight to the point. But a lot of the times you need that filler stuff to to give the movie some momentum. But this was just like bang, this happened, and then that happened.
Yeah, and it literally felt like a word vomit, scene to scene. Like, this is all the
Mm-hmm.
information the audience needs to know right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, no, you should have slowly built upon that. Like, we automatically thought the government was evil just because Gina Rodriguez's character saw something in the past. Um, I don't know. And then I don't. And then they rush. Of course, they always do this. You know, they have the son that hates the mom, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't believe it. I didn't even believe they were related at all, and that was the hard thing about it. I think it would have been better if he was like a brother to her, and maybe she had a young daughter. Um, I don't know. The whole, and I think, I think the filmmakers thought, listen, this movie is about people who are sleep deprived. Let's edit the movie like that. Let and then here we are watching it, going like, wait, what? How did that happen?
Yeah.
When? And it's like, well, maybe the filmmakers were feeling sleep deprived. They were rushing to make this movie happen. I don't know. It
Yeah,
was.
and it was odd. And then what threw me off also was and spoiler alert, the the part where the prisoner is
Oh
is
yeah.
with them, like the possible love interest, like, and he, like, I wasn't sure. I'm like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And I guess they were trying to go for that suspense, like maybe trying to make him like, oh, the audience doesn't really know if he's good or bad. But I felt like that the whole time, even, and then he was just an odd character also.
What's weird is that I actually thought he was the best character. He livened up the movie, and I thought it was interesting that, okay, he took the car, and you're scared at first because you're like, oh, what's gonna happen to the daughter? But
Hmm.
then he comes back for her, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so maybe he's a good guy, and then he kind of finds out what they're doing through the son, and he gets intrigued, and they add that mystery of, well, is he good or bad? Is he going to turn them in, or is he just going for
Yeah.
the cure, or whatever it is? And I don't know. But he livened up the movie when he was in it, and I thought, whoa, when he left, I was like, what? That was the best part of the movie. You got rid of the guy. You could have added more. He could have been there for the final. I guess he is technically there for the final fight, but he
Yeah.
could have been in cahoots with Gina and going to infiltrate the building to find out if it was good or bad. And then that's the thing too. A lot of this movie, they'll give you like little hint. I think they do the 24 hours, or they say it's been 24 hours, and then the next time you hear anything, how long people have been awake for, it's like towards the end where they go, it's been 6 days, and it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
6 days?
It
It seems like a night.
it doesn't have like a realistic law, like a time span. Like it just
Yeah.
it's not credit. I don't know. It made no sense.
And I think that's the unfortunate thing with a lot of the Netflix movies, is that they are kind of it's a little bit of those straight to DVD releases now. That's what
Mhm.
Netflix is. Sometimes they have good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that goes with things that go straight to DVD. Is like, sometimes they're not bad. Other times they're terrible, and that's why they're not put in theaters, because they know they're not going to make any money. And that's some of the Netflix content, is that they buy these movies, or they make these films really quick, And who knows with this movie, I don't know if it was filmed during the pandemic or
Oh,
it was before it or what, but I,
yes.
or if
And
they maybe didn't have time to do reshoots. I don't know, but I don't know how they thought, yeah, this looks good enough.
I agree. And you actually, it's like you read my mind because I was gonna say this movie reminded me a lot of two other movies we've seen. One of the movies it reminded me of is the Shia LaBeouf movie,
Which one?
the new one.
The tax
The
collector.
Tax Collector, yes.
Yeah.
It made me because The Tax Collector was another movie that the trailer was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But then once we saw it, we're like, what? And I thought,
Yeah.
okay, maybe it had to do with the pandemic. Maybe they rushed it and something may have happened in the back end. Like you said, they couldn't go back and refilm it. So they just pieced together what they had
Yeah.
and tried to make the best out of it.
Hmm.
And it also reminded me of Bird Box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Bird Box, uh, something's going on, and some people are like, everyone's dying, and there's only certain people that are surviving, and there's bad guys, and this and that. So it reminded me a little bit of Bird Box as well. Of course, Bird
Yep.
Box
Better.
was a lot better.
And it's
Um,
just a concept. It's the
yes.
they're all kind of going for this. I feel like Bird Box and A Quiet Place are in that kind of that genre, that mystery genre, where they're trying to figure what's going on. Not everybody has all the answers, and that's great and all because it
Hmm.
adds mystery to it, and you can build upon it.
But if
But a
it's done
movie,
the right way.
exactly, this movie wasn't done the right way, and I don't think it warrants a sequel to try to fix whatever happened. And
Hmm.
not to mention, I mean, oh my gosh, the whole point of the whole thing that they learn towards the end of the movie is that they all have to sort of die. And I was like, for like a reset, right? That's what the whole
Hmm.
point. And it's like two kids found that out. Eh,
Not even the scientist did.
Not even the scientists
Yeah.
did, who have been working for 6 days straight, no sleep. And then of course they have to save their mother and they drown her, and I'm like, what? And and then bring her back to life, and it's like, how do they know about how bringing people back to life?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the movie ends and we don't even see her wake up,
It,
we just hear
it's a
her.
cliffhanger, and I hate cliffhangers. Like that is like what? That's it. I spent this whole hour and something minutes invested in this movie that wasn't even that great
Yeah.
for me not to have closure.
Yeah. Oh, it, oh, but still, the best part about this movie, okay, you're probably gonna agree with me, I don't know, is so
Oh,
every movie ends with a big shootout, or something big happens at the end. It's supposed to be a climax. It's the resolution as well.
yes.
This movie, after being kind of creepy, that the possibility that the daughter might get her head cut off so they can see why she's so special, which is whatever. They were like, we need a shootout in this sequence. Okay, how are we going to do it? It can't be a rivalry, right? It can't have anybody else. Maybe there's another military trying to figure it out too. No, let's not do that. They're sleep deprived. Okay, let's put a pine cone on the sidewalk and have them say grenade. And honestly, it's not even built up. It literally cuts from, I think it cuts from the scene with Gina talking to her, I guess, coworker or whatever, to find out what's going on. Or
Yes.
she's talking to the new mom that she's trying to set up her daughter with, and who doesn't have much time to live anyway. Uh, and immediately cuts over to the guy, and you kind of, if you aren't paying attention, you miss
You
it.
miss
You're
it.
like, and he goes grenade, and he throws the pine cone, and then they
He
start
kicks the
shooting
pine
each
cone.
other.
He
Oh
kicks the
yeah,
pine cone, yeah, because
yeah,
he's walking and he just like the pine cone doesn't even fall or anything. Like the pine cone is just there on the sidewalk or on the pavement, like it's just
yeah.
there, and he just walks and he sees it, and then he yells grenade and he kicks it, and that's it.
And that set off a chain of events that
Yes.
honestly I laughed the entire time. I was like, how what? You didn't, like you said, Didn't even show like suspense that maybe he heard something fall,
Yeah, nothing.
or the wind blew it. Nothing. It literally cuts to him going grenade, and then brrr, a shootout against everybody, and it's like I, I, I can't even believe it. And of course, the guy that breaks out of jail kind of saves the day a little bit because he's there. I forget why he shows up there. Oh, because he brings the kids.
Yeah, he brought the
Yeah,
kids back.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, but
yeah,
that is one of the most laughable story ideas have ever seen. And the thing is, it's a cool concept. They could have done so much with it,
yes.
but it just didn't work. When you break it all down, it could work. Listen, everyone's sleep deprived. Something goes wrong. A mom's just trying to protect her family. The whole like everyone pestering her about bringing her to this base. You know that guy, I forget his name, but bring your daughter to the base. We already
Hmm.
got one person, and it's like that plays into the whole time thing because it was like not enough time has passed. How do you already know that we're all having this problem to begin with? And then they go
Well,
to the
yeah,
church.
that was one of
Yeah,
the main things in the beginning too. Like it hadn't even been 24 hours that people hadn't been sleeping for, and
at
they
least
were
to
already going
us.
crazy.
Yeah, at least to us. But in the movie world, they were like, yeah, it's been
Yeah.
24 hours and everyone's going nuts. Okay. And then they go to that church, and that was a weird turn of events with Barry Pepper, who he plays
Hmm.
the father or whatever. And I like that actor, but that whole thing was so weird. It was like, okay, so now we have to believe already that there's been X amount of time, and people are already going crazy, crazy enough for a police officer to shoot somebody right in the
Hmm.
head.
Hmm.
Aren't police officers like have to stay up late anyway, most of the time?
Well,
So, well, how are
that's my
24?
thing. Like, I feel like there was really no research done behind this movie because I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure we've pulled all-nighters before,
Yeah,
and it's got to be more than 24 hours for you to be losing your mind. And like you said, I'm sure cops work late, long shifts. So there was just no research done, scientific
yeah,
research done to back up this idea that
yeah,
they're trying to
exactly.
go for.
So, anyways, this has been a just a very disappointing film. I can't even say anything positive, and I feel bad because I know how much work goes into the movie. I don't even want to put in the effort to make movies because I know how much it takes. You know, you watch a movie, you see how many times the transition, you're just like, man, how many cameras did they use, or how many times did they shoot the scene? And it's like, wow, that's a lot of work. I
Hmm.
get it, but the fact that you were able to put this together during, I'm pretty sure during quarantine, and you did not see anything wrong with it or find it in your heart to like fix anything, even add fade to black scenes like
Hmm.
24 hours later, like things that you could have done without actors.
Hmm.
I mean, come on. Like, you just like shoveled this down our throat. And you know what? It was quiet though. Because I knew from the trailer that I wasn't going to be into it. I thought the trailer was very confusing. I was like, how does that connect to being able to stay awake? It didn't
But
make any sense in the trailer for me.
I didn't know it was gonna be this bad though.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was gonna be this bad either. I thought there was a good chance that my at least would have been surprising. Like, oh, it wasn't that bad, but
Hmm.
it ended up getting worse and worse as we
Yes.
watched it. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about this movie. I want to forget about it. Um,
It was entertaining in the sense that we had a lot to say when we were watching it. I want to say the movie experience was good. We
Fair, yeah,
we were able to talk about it while watching the movie and we laughed a couple times and questioned a lot of things. So the experience itself was good. The
yeah.
movie, not that good.
Yeah, that and that's the cool thing about movies is like honestly, good or bad. The good ones, yeah, you're relatively quiet and you're probably cheering or laughing at the same moments. But when you watch a bad movie and you guys are sitting there and you look at each other like, what? And then you were laughing together. I mean, yeah, I definitely can't say it wasn't a good time, but definitely all the logic is definitely not in this film. So, but yes, thank you so much for joining me. I hear somebody's here. So I will talk to you later, Lisette.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Thank you for talking about this movie. All right. Bye.